So we're going to share the screen now. I guess I won't look into the camera, right? All right. So this is what your interface looks like. This is a class in iLearn. So when you first go to it, you're well, we'll go to the home page after, but you'll first log in to iLearn. You'll have an Otter ID and a password that you'll use to access all of your equipment, all of your services here on campus. The same Otter ID and password will work for your logging into a computer. I guess you won't have to worry about your remote, but you log into the what's called the my.csumb.edu, and that's how you will access your email and all of your Google Docs and your calendar and things of that sort. It also, I want to mention that your Gmail at csumb.edu email address will be the official mode of communication between the campus and you. So you may have other emails that you're getting back and forth at this point as the registration process is happening, but that is going to be your actual contact. So make sure you're checking your csumb.edu email every day once you have that fully set up. So you'll use that same Otter ID and password, which will be the first 4 letters of your last name and then a 4-digit number, and then a password that you will create. Hey, a baby! Nice to see a baby. Okay, where was I going with that? That same password will log you in. Once you go into the single sign-on system, that'll log you into all your systems. So it'll get you into iLearn. If you are established in your classes already officially, you will then see a link to your class on that front page. So I'm going to, just because it'll be a little bit of a technical thing, I'm just going to stay on this page right now. But you can see that there's a name here called New Faculty Orientation as NFO, iLearn Student Experience. This is a class that we've just created for faculty, but I thought I'd just share it with you guys since I had just dealt with it moments ago. So this is your basic interface. You'll see usually an image and some text at the top of the class that the instructor has set up to orient you to the class. I'm going to move this down a little bit so I can see this. All right, okay. All right, well, maybe that's so good. So across the top is a bar. It's called the Awesome Bar, Uber Bar. People call it various things. But it's a dynamic bar that will actually give you various options of things you can look at in your class. So across the top, we've got this home that'll take you back to the home page for iLearn. Then you've got another baby. I'm loving it. Babies are dancing. All right, that's a great crew. I love it. Mine are at home. You know, if I'd have known, I would have brought it. We could have had a party. This is going to be your home page right here. It's going to show the classes that you're in. You'll be able to access those on the home page for all of iLearn as well. There'll be a series of green links there at the front. And I will try to show you that before we end today. But just to going across here, you can see you can access your courses through this link as well. There's a lot of different ways for you to get to your courses. If you go over here to help, if you're having trouble with iLearn for whatever reason, you can go down here to help and go to iLearn for Students. I'm going to open this up in a new window, hopefully. New tab, yeah. This takes you to the Center for Academic Technology's website, which is our website, our section of the CSUMB website. And down here you see there's a thing called Student Resources. You click on that. We wait. And wait a little bit longer. What you're going to see is a Google spreadsheet here that has a list of all kinds of different videos and printed how-tos on how to use different aspects of iLearn. So if you're like, how do I submit an assignment? You can go here, you go how to submit an assignment and watch a little quick video, or just look at some little how-tos. I'm sure you won't have much problems after the first week. It's all very intuitive. Most things are drag and drop, and it's a very simple process, but know that you have those resources available if you need them. So I'm going to go back to the class right here. One other thing that you should do is use the browser test. So the first time you've logged on with a browser, you do this browser test, and it's going to go through and just make sure that you've got everything that you need on your browser to use iLearn effectively. And you'll see Oh, look at that. We don't have the right version of Mozilla. I mean, obviously it'll work, but it's not the recommended one. We have the Java plugins installed. You want to go through and make sure that you've got all these things. You may not need to worry about these things down at the bottom unless your instructor is going to be using Real Player, which isn't used very often in the class. But definitely you want to make sure that these top things are all dealt with, including the pop-up blocker. So if you have a pop-up blocker on iLearn, there are times when a new window will pop up when you click on it. So you want to make sure that you have disabled the pop-up blocker for iLearn. You could just make an exception in your pop-up blocker for iLearn.csumb.edu. So, and that's there for you to check at any time. It's right there under the Help Browser Test. All right, so we're going through iLearn for Students, Browser Test. Those are the main ones you're going to look at here. Course Administration is going to be where you're going to go to see your grades. All right, so you're only have this one option under. You're not going to have Question Bank. I'm not sure why that's showing up here, but you can click on this at any time to see your current grades. Now, the grade is only going to be relative to what the instructor has graded, obviously. So you don't necessarily expect the assignment that you just turned in will have a grade. But if you did take a quiz or something like that that automatically grades, that quiz grade will appear in your grade view right away for the most part. And this is kind of what it'll look like, but obviously you'll have some values in here for each of these different assignments that you've done. So I'm not a student in a class, so I don't have any numbers. But if I had done this introductory form and received my 3 points, it would show here 3 points. And if there was any feedback, it would appear here to the side. So this is a way that you're going to be able to keep track of your own grade, and you're kind of held responsible generally to keep track of your own grade. If there's a problem, you need to communicate that with the teacher as soon as possible, just because, you know, obviously problems happen. So as best as you can communicate that with your instructor, you're going to make your experience better. So regularly go in and check your grades. It's just a good idea. And they're all kept here in the same place. So I'm going to go back to the front page where I was before. Here you're going to see your profile settings. Now you can see over here in the corner is a picture of me and my child, or one of my children. That's right, yeah. She just turned 5 and started kindergarten last week. It's been a sad thing, yeah. But I have another one who's 2, so we get a little bit more time with babies. But you see, you want to have a picture here. It's mandatory as digital citizens and in working with iLearn that you have a picture, a recognizable picture of yourself here as a profile, because this is the way that you are going to be interacting with other people and the way your teachers are going to interact with you. So if as a teacher I'm looking at a bunch of blank faces, I don't have any real connection with that student, and it impacts the entire experience. So I'm sure your instructors will make it mandatory, but that's one of the first things you're going to do is go into My Profile Settings and select Edit Profile. You'll take a picture of yourself, pop it right in here. I'm going to see if this works because I'm in as a student right now, so it's a little funny, but it'll probably do it. Yeah. So this is my profile, all my information, and down here I have a place to put User Picture. And I just grab a picture and drag and drop it right into that place, and it pops up here. I go here and hit Update Profile. Another thing that you're going to want to do as a student, and I also teach here, so I have some description in my teacher profile. This is my admin profile, so it's a little different. But you're going to want to type a little bit about yourself, at least a short paragraph saying, you know, where you're from, what you like to do, what you're interested in and what you want to get out of this program, something that the teacher is going to be able to connect with on a regular basis. So you'll want to type some information here as well. Again, it's going to be one of the very first things that you do is edit your profile. You'll put your picture in, and you'll type a little description of yourself and hit Update Profile down here. So that's the Edit Profile settings. You're not going to see all these other things, I'm afraid, and you're not going to see this site administration either. It kind of gives me the student view, but not completely the student view. So, all right, I'm going to actually go back to here. So do we have any way for them to give feedback if they have questions or anything?
There's a question. Somebody asked
if
there's a mobile app for iLearn.
There isn't a mobile app for iLearn specifically, but it is mobile accessible. So I actually do admin tasks on my iPad frequently. So it's It's pretty friendly. Some of the drag and drop things are a little bit different, obviously, with the touch screen, but it can work. I'm gonna go back to the front page. Good question. So the questions are coming from you. Is that all right?
They're on the chat.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to yell them out to me at any time? That's totally fine.
Where is the class listing on iLearn?
So okay, so we'll go back to the front.
I guess they just logged in.
Oh, so you guys are. Do they have login accounts? Are they?
I don't think they do.
Okay. So so when you're all set up in the system, you will have an auto ID and password, which is what I mentioned earlier, and that's going to give you basically when you log into my.csumb.edu. You might want to write that one down. That's the one that gets you there. That place will link to your other branches of this campus. You can also just go to csumb.edu, and there's a series of links at the bottom of the screen. Let me show you there. Go here. Such a small screen. csumb.edu.
Oh, they're saying some students have access and can edit their profiles, but they don't have access to courses yet.
Oh, okay.
They have access to iLearn.
So you have access to iLearn. That's great. Wonderful. So since I was in here, I'll just finish that. I'm at csumb.edu. It's the home page of the website. And right here under the bottom is resources and services. And there's links to iLearn and my CSUMB and things down here at the bottom. So that's just a nice place you can go to get to everything. So if you do have access to iLearn, that's great. That means you do have a profile. And your classes won't appear in your profile or for you in iLearn until the instructor has actually turned them on. So you are probably enrolled in a class already, but it won't appear to you until the instructor is ready to go. So the instructors are furiously creating content, the most brilliant things you've ever seen. They're writing these masterpieces for you right now. And when they finish that all up, they're going to put it on in the class, and then they're going to open the class up. As soon as they do that, it will appear for you in iLearn. And where it will appear is, if I go back to this, I'm going to go to the home page. Here at the bottom, it shows my courses right here. And with these green links, that means I can access them. These gray links mean that the course is hidden, but you'll never see that anyway. So I want to point out here, since we are at the home page now, if you log into iLearn and you don't see your picture there after you've updated your profile, you'll want to log in with Auto ID, and it'll come in. It'll either make you log in with the Auto ID and password, or it'll remember when you logged in earlier to My or one of the other services. And then you'll have your specific information. Right here is a news forum where we, from the Center of Academic Technologies, post information to you. So students, right here, you will not be able to see your fall courses in iLearn until after your instructors make them visible. Check CMS Student HR to confirm that you are in your courses. So that's obviously a common question that we get, especially at the beginning of classes, is that they don't see their classes in there. But that doesn't mean you're not in the class. It just means the teacher has not turned it on yet. And when they are, you will see all these green links for your classes down here. I'm going to point out some other things here on the front page. If you need iLearn help for students, here's another link. I think, let me see where this goes. I'm not even sure where it goes at this point. It goes to the same place. It goes to the website. Yeah. So that's just another link that goes to the website that has our little database of resources for you right here. All right. What else? Other things? So, okay. So you guys are all high-tech people. That's great. So I don't know if you've all used things like lynda.com or even just used YouTube videos to learn programs or things of that nature. But we also have access to this thing called Atomic Learning. And it's right here on the front page. So if you're ever in a corner, you're like, I need to know how to do this thing, Atomic Learning is a resource that's available for you. You just click on this link, a new tab. It's going to go to a Google Doc. And it doesn't have to go to a Google Doc. We may change how it goes. But this is, again, Center for Academic Technologies. That's us. There's this link right here. You click on the link. It's not going to work for me because I'm not logged in with my Auto ID. But it's going to take you to Atomic Learning, which is a database. It's like lynda.com. Yeah, it makes me log in here. Hold on a second. All right, so this is a database like lynda.com, where you can follow tutorials, real systematic tutorials about different applications that you may want to learn about. So you do your keyword. I really want to learn about Photoshop. I can spell. That's interesting. Quite the delay. All right, I'm going to learn about Photoshop CS6. Click on here. There's a 2-hour, 21-minute tutorial right here, intro training. There's also a 7-minute one here and a 14-minute. Here's a 2-hour, 29-minute training. So there's a lot of great information here. So there's no excuses for not learning programs. They're in here. This Atomic Learning isn't maybe quite as slick as lynda.com is, but it's got great information, and it'll get you a long way into learning new technology. And so that link is right there on the front of iLearn. So if you're ever in a corner, you need to learn something, right here, Atomic Learning. It's a real underutilized resource that we have here on campus. So, gosh, I think with other things for students. Oh yeah, okay. So that is a good point. So we're going to actually do some assignments here real quickly. Let me go back to this class that I was in. Keep me on task time-wise. So, and feel free to ask questions at any time. I'm all for it. Okay. So I'm going back to that class that we were in earlier. I'm still in as a student, so I think that'll be okay. So these are the various types of ways that teachers will interact with you on campus. They may have a document just posted, like this is a Word document that's right here. To access that Word document, I'm going to click on the green link for it, and depending on how you set your browser, it'll automatically open up, it'll download, it'll open up in a new window. But you get the idea. This is just something's happening in the background, I'm sure, right now. But when you click on these kinds of links, those documents will open up. This right here is an announcements forum, also called a news forum. And instructors will use that to communicate with you all at once. So an instructor can type a message on the news forum that will say, hey, I've changed the due date for this assignment. It's now due right now, whatever it is you want to say. And it will leave a little place there for you to see. You can come back and say, I have one unread message. And it'll also send each of you an email to your csumb.edu email. So it's a way for the instructor to communicate with all of you right at once. This is a kind of a forum you'll see in lots of different classes called Ask Your Instructor or Ask Your Instructor and Classmates. And usually it's a place where if you have a question, I gotta get out as a student, I'm afraid. Hold on a second. It's not gonna let me do anything because I'm not really a student. All right, let's go back to the shoot. Sorry, I'm gonna go back this way. Slight interruption. Okay, now it should let me do stuff. I'm using Denise as my channel to this class because I know that she set herself up as a teacher in it, and so it was easy for me to find her. So, ask your instructor. And I click on that. I have a question. It's 2 in the morning. I'm working on my assignment. I have a question. I'm going to say, show parent. Why is it not letting me edit things? All right, hold on a second. I'm going to log in as somebody else. That's going to be my best way to do it. I will log in as Denise, I guess. Yeah. Really going to confuse things. Let's try this. Now I have controls. Okay, so this is the initial thing from the instructor saying, if you have any questions about this class, send a message here. So I'm going to reply to this message and say, Look in my box here and say, hi, I have a question. Where did you get that hat? And I have the ability here to drag and drop a file here. So if I have a Word document that I want somebody to look at or an image, I can just drag it right from my desktop and drop it into this little spot right here. I then click Post to Forum. And it says, it's been successfully added. I go to the forum and I see, here's Denise's first question that she asked the instructor. And then here's my question right here. Hi, I have a question, where to get that hat? So say you are also up at 2 in the morning and you can answer one of your classmates' questions. You can reply to your classmate. So Denise is asking about her grade, and I can reply to Denise and say, grades are available now. Go down here and hit Post to Forum. So this is really a place where you can start to create that online community that you're going to need to survive a cohort-based system like this. So help out your faculty and your fellow students, because your teacher only has one pair of eyes, but between you guys, you got 30 some odd pairs of eyes. So you'll be amazed at how much support you can give everyone just by stepping in and answering questions as your fellow students have them. So again, that was a Ask Your Instructor or Classmates forum. Any questions about that forum in particular, or should I just keep pounding through? Silence is acquiescence. All right.
Can they see, Chris, can they see?
Okay, excellent.
Can they see other classmates? How do they find out who are in the class? Keep going.
So if you have a, depending on how the class is set up, you will see your other classmates in the forum posts. Obviously, you'll see their profiles. If the teacher has this block down here, let me add it on. Not everybody's going to have this one on, so it may or may not appear for you. But if I add a block to, what is it called? People, thank you. I'm adding a people block. And so now this block will exist here on the side that shows the participants in the class. So you can click on it and see everyone who's in this class. And then you'll be able to, I'm assuming in an online program like this, you probably will have that set up. But these are all the different people that are in the class. Oh, I want to point out how important it is to have that user profile picture, because you have a much different connection with this teacher than with this one, because it's just a blank face. So the user profile is very important for all online interactions. But that may or may not be there depending on how the teacher sets up your class. So if it's something that you guys decide you really want to have access to, just tell the instructor and they can add it. It's no big deal. Other things, this right here is a link to a URL. This instructor decided to use that for their syllabus instead of actually uploading a PDF, which is totally valid. This isn't even a real class, so we're just having fun here. But what this does is this opens up a shared Google document where you can all access the same materials. The nice thing about having it here, oops, I gotta click on it. I did it the wrong way, is to, when you have information on Google Docs, the teacher can quickly change something and everybody's got the same information, access to it. So if there needs to be a quick change that's made, you can do it in real time, as opposed to downloading files and uploading them and that kind of a thing. So this would be what a document would look like that was linked in Google Docs. It would be an actual URL link that you would click on in the class. Where are we? All right.
How do you upload a file?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I can go through a few different types of assignments here. So you might have a quiz that you have to take at some point. So this would be a quiz that would score itself. So you'd get the grade for it right away. Let me see if I can scroll down here. And I'm going to preview this because, again, I'm not really a student, so things don't look exactly quite right. But you can see here that I have the instructions for the quiz here, and there's a little embedded video that I can play right in the quiz that gives me instructions for how to do things. I don't know if you're going to hear any audio for this or not, but this is actually a link to a YouTube video. It's not
The
actually
quiz icon.
I just stopped it there. But I'm going to continue the last attempt, and you can see when you take a quiz, it'll say start attempt or something like that. So, and here's my questions. This first one is a video, and I have a few different options here. This is like a matching item where I'm supposed to find a tab called home. I'm not even sure what the right answers are. And whatever, we'll just go through here and click these real quickly. And I'm not even reading them, quite frankly. And whatever, well, there we go. So that's a matching question. Right here is a multiple choice question. So how many years is it? Which former president was here? I think that looks a little bit like Clinton. And the library is open 24 hours a day. That would be a false. All right. So this is me taking my quiz. I go to next. Everything has to think a little bit between each item, and then submit all and finish. And now I've just taken a quiz. And since this was an auto-graded one, if I was a student, I would actually have a grade now. It's telling me how I did. I got this one right, and these ones are wrong. And then here's a little feedback. You may or may not receive these kinds of feedback depending on how the quiz is set up, but this is just one way it can happen. This was just wrong. This one was right. And it says the correct answer is former President Clinton. And this one is, yeah. So you can see there's different amounts of information that you may get from a quiz as you're working through it. So let's go back to the front page there. Yes.
The question was, when submitting assignments, will we be able to make edits or add additional versions before the due date after we have submitted?
It all depends on, so I don't know if everybody heard the question. It was about making edits on an assignment after it's submitted but before the due date. It depends on how the assignment is set up. Some assignments the teacher says you can make edits, some you cannot. So you'll want to make sure about that before you submit. Some of them will ask you to hit a submit button. Some of them won't necessarily need you to hit submit button. And it's partly to do with the style of the instructor. Just make sure you communicate as early as possible with your instructor what your hopes are for the class, and they can make that happen for the most part. They may just be using the defaults because nobody has said anything otherwise. So know that you have a lot of feedback for how the instructor is going to create those classes, or at least, they'll tell you the rationale for why they're doing them one way or the other. Any other questions about that?
Not really.
Okay. So another type of quiz that you may experience is an essay type quiz, where you click on that, and this one is going to actually ask me to type. Again, I'm going to continue the last attempt, but for this one, I have, oh, actually, let me show you one thing while I'm here. Usually, these things will tell you very clearly what's going on. So this quiz is set so that I have 3 attempts. I can do it 3 times, but I only have 10 minutes to do it each time. And the highest grade that I get in those 3 attempts will be the one that I actually get as a grade. That doesn't really make sense for this type of quiz, but it's okay. So I'm going to continue my last attempt. And then here's the question. And instead of multiple choice or whatever, I'm typing my answer. I go through and I type my answers to each of the questions. Whee! That's in URLEs. And I can return to my attempt. So I could, at this point, if I decided, oh, I want to change my answer, I could return to my attempt since I still have time on the clock. But and in your view, if it's a time quiz, you will see a little clock here that will show you how much time you have. Or I can submit all and finish. And once I do that, I'm done with this quiz. I can't go back and change it. So it all depends on the item, and it depends on how things are set up. So that's an essay quiz. Again, that will not be graded automatically. Someone's going to actually have to put eyeballs on that quiz and give you a score for each of your responses for you to get points for that. And, you know, and hopefully your instructor will communicate with you their general timeline of how soon they get back to you on grading. So you'll have the right expectation. So this is another forum here. And this is just a fun thing. We just had people respond to each other here in this workshop. So here's the initial response, the initial prompt. And here's the first response. You can see how it's indented here, as this is a subset of this one, yeah, of the introductory forum. And this response is a subset of this one, so that's indented again. So to reply to this one, you hit here, reply. So every single student would come in and hit reply to the top one, because the top one is the prompt from the instructor. So you'd always hit reply there, and if you're then replying to a classmate, you'd go down and find that classmate's response. I'm going to reply to him, so I would then hit reply here to reply to that classmate's response. So hopefully that's clear. It's pretty intuitive. You just got to remember to click on the reply just below the person's response that you want to respond to. So. All right.
Chris,
yeah.
You want to mention about email notifications on the forums?
That's a good point. When you go into your user profile, this might be one to write down. I'm going to go into my profile settings and edit profile.
And to see if it's turned on or off.
Yeah. Right down here, there is a thing called forum auto subscribe. All right. This is going to default to yes. So that means every time you post in a forum, every time somebody else posts in the forum, you're going to get an email saying, there's been a new post to the forum. So you probably want to change this to no, to not auto-subscribe you to forums. You can subscribe if you want to, and you'll get those notifications. If it's an important forum that you want to see the responses, you can then change that for that one. But this is just a thing that automatically subscribes you to every forum. And people generally don't want that. So, and unfortunately, it defaults in the wrong direction. So that's just the way it is. So we're still plowing ahead here. We've looked at a forum. This is an assignment, right? This might be the most common thing that you interact with. Is called an assignment. Here, this one's called upload an essay. If I click on this, this is a place that allows, hopefully there's all the instructions for what the teacher wants, but it's not gonna let me in because I'm not a student again. It's kind of a pain. Basically, there's gonna be a button here that you would click where you can add a submission. And when you do that, a little window will pop up where you can either type text directly into the iLearn interface, or you can drag and drop a file. So sometimes the instructor may want a file. Sometimes they may want you to just type text directly into iLearn. It's easier for them to grade if you're typing the text directly into iLearn. They can see it quicker and respond to it easier. And because if you actually attach a file, they have to download all 30 of the files, open them up on their desktop, and go through them. So it's a little bit harder to interact with them from a teacher's point of view. So if they give you the option of one or the other, pick the online text option. I really wish I could show you what that view is. Let me think about it for a second. If I go into somebody who is enrolled in this class, and I'm gonna not be me. This is all stuff you'll never see. All right, I'll go in as Ned. Just picking somebody I know. So I'm gonna, there's again things that you can't do, but I'm gonna log in as this person. So now I'm logged in as a student in this class. You can see that the profile has changed. So when I go now to this upload an essay, you can see, shoot, he already submitted it, didn't he? He submitted an online text that this is my document, is what he just typed in here. And he didn't put any comments in there with it. So this is Denise already graded it and gave him 3 points out of 3 and said, thank you. So I'll have to come back and hit that up if you want to actually see the student view. It's really intuitive though. You'll click on add a submission. There'll be a little box that'll open up. You type in it and you hit submit. That's basically what it is. So any questions about upload an assignment? Anything? We got some questions. All right.
Is there a way to set up emails when someone replies to your message on the forum?
So for that question was if there's a way to set up emails if somebody replies to your message on the forum, and not specifically. If you subscribe to the forum, you'll get an email whenever anyone answers anything in that forum. The next time you go into the forum, though, you'll see, obviously, the responses. And here on iLearn, on the front page, you'll see a thing that says, like, 3 unread messages or something. It'll say right here, three new messages, I think is what it says. And so you'll know something has changed in that forum. But there isn't a way to make it so it's tailored just to your profile.
The other question was text option allows for easy formatting. So if you're cutting and pasting source code with indentation for an assignment, or is it just plain text?
I'm trying to think what it'll do because there's an HTML block actually in the. That's an interesting question. Let me think about it for a second. It does have formatting abilities in the. I don't know if you guys can submit code or not in the. That might not work very well because it does have a certain auto formatting. Let me go back as me. It logs me out every time. It's a pain. Helps if you type the right password. All right, so how can I do this? Let's see if I can go into. Oh, I know what I'll do. There we go. All right. This is just a crazy hidden course that I have lots of junk in. So you can just ignore all the stuff here. But I'm gonna try and hit assignments. Come on. These poor computers are working hard. They got this meeting going. The iLearn admins on here causing trouble. It's all a big mess here. Again, this is stuff that you will not ever see. So when you submit, it will look something like this. This is basically what you get. Is this drag and drop place where you can you can put a text file or a Word document or something and just drag it right into there. And for this, wow, everything's all strange. I don't know why it's doing that. Even the HTML. Save changes. Of course, I picked something that's way more complicated. Let me see one more time. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, I'm going to abandon that. I will show you exactly what the file is. It is down here. Turn editing on. So slow. Come on. You guys having fun? Are you excited? Gonna learn online, huh?
And I said, yeah.
Oh, good,
I
good.
said, yeah.
I got one excited. That's good. Are you ready to rock? Yeah. All right, we're going down here to the bottom. All right, I'm going to add. So you might know better than I do if this is going to work for you. This is not the actual thing that you're going to be working on, but it's the exact same type of interface. Okay. Something is weird here. I think this might be an old browser. You remember when I saw that we had the non-standard browser? I think it's causing troubles here actually because there should be a little icon here, a little button you can press. It's a text editor that allows you to actually have some controls over the text that you type in here. So you could copy and paste your text here. And you can actually copy and paste HTML in here, and it'll behave as HTML in this little box. That's why I'm worried about dropping code in, what it will do, if it will actually attempt to play your code, or it will just hold it there. But there is basic text editing ability right here. This whole interface here that lets you bold and indent and those kinds of things. So you can do that here in this text box, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. I really do think we have a browser issue here. So that's one to do that test beforehand to make sure that you have the right browser for iLearn. It can be a little bit buggy at times, so it's something to keep in mind. We recommend for so we're in Internet Explorer right now, which is never recommended. In fact, Homeland Security has said do not use Internet Explorer. They came out a couple months ago actually against Internet Explorer as a concept. So Firefox is probably the one that works the best with iLearn. Chrome works very good as well. Chrome is going to work better with all of the other features that you're going to have here on CSUMB because we are a Google campus. So it's Gmail, it's Google Docs, those kinds of things. Chrome works really well with those. But for iLearn, Firefox is the best, and Chrome is fine. I don't have any problems using Chrome, but don't use Internet Explorer. It's obviously it just doesn't even work. So some of the things that aren't going to work for it. So that is a very good point. Do we have any other questions or anything that I should be paying attention to? I was surprised when I sat here and saw IE. I really was. Yeah.
One thing is when they reply to forums, if they're copy and pasting from a Word document, it won't carry over the formatting.
Yeah. So it will strip out a lot of your formatting when you're copying and pasting from other documents. So just think of it as you're pulling over text for the most part. It might bring some of that formatting over depending on what's going on. So you'll want to massage that once it's in there, and you do have that text editor if you're in Firefox that where you can actually do that. I mean, I guess I could. I don't want to waste too much time here, but let me see. If there's other questions, go for it. I'm going to try and do this real quick. Stop. And there's crickets. Oops. Yeah. Nothing works with dial-up. What are you thinking? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, good, good. My parents had dial-up until very recently, and then they just gave up completely and have no internet. So that's. All right. All right, I'm trying one more time to get in here. So this is me in Firefox. Hopefully you'll see this, it'll be slightly different. So I'm going to go back into my junk class. Oh, God. I hate that I can't see my things because the pictures are in the way. I'm sure. Just toggle it down. Let me just get rid of it. Oh, it's like a new world. Ah, not that it wasn't lovely seeing you, but that's so little screen. Come on. Definitely cycling around a lot for this little thing here. Label text. It's not coming up. I don't know. We'll have to look into it.
Okay.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Show editing tools. Beautiful. It came in. Here's my text. See that little tab that pops up? Show editing tools. Now I have this available here to edit with. So there you go. You do have editing tools that are available. You can bold, italics, you can do numbers and bullet points, and you can also put in HTML. So if you have embed codes, you can pop that in. I'm not sure exactly where the student permissions are on that with the HTML, but it does exist here. So if you get to the point where you're submitting an assignment, this is the kind of text box where you would actually put it. You can hide your editing tools or show editing tools here. So, thankfully. Okay, where were we? How are we doing on time-wise?
We are done.
We're done. Okay. Let me look real quickly to see if there's any other major things I wanted to point out. But, you know, really, you guys will be fine. It's very intuitive. And if you have any, you know, if you've ever used a computer before, you're probably fairly familiar with these kinds of things. I'm going to guess that you have. Yes, so there's questionnaires, there's choice. Yeah, that's great. That's a perfect place to stop. There's lots of different kinds of assignments. You click on the link, you go to it, you do what the instructions are. It's pretty simple. So I guess any last questions, or I will bow out. No questions. Well, it was lovely meeting you all. I hope you have a glorious time as online students here at CSU Monterey Bay, and know that there are a ton of resources here available for you. Do use the Atomic Learning if you need it. I like to peruse it sometimes and just, oh yeah, I'd like to learn that little thing. You know, you just do little just-in-time trainings, things of that sort. It's a great tool, so so definitely don't let that go to waste. Should I show my face? How am I doing that? Nope. You go, take it.